What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt Deville with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some more news concerning Chris Eubank Jr. and James Degale. Chris Eubank Jr. punishes James Degale. James Degale is, I wouldn't say a shot fighter, but he's missed two or three steps. And like Paula Malignaggi said in the press conference yesterday, if he loses to Chris Eubank Jr., James Degale is the Olympian. James Degale is the golden Olympian. James Degale is the guy that was on the elite level. You know, he's won on an elite level. Chris Eubank Jr. has not. And Chris Eubank basically showed you who he is. And what James Degale failed to realize is that he underestimated his punching power, obviously. If you can tell, the way James Degale, he wasn't in the best of shape. I don't know what the hell he was doing, honestly. He would do a lot of like this lunging shit where he would lunge in, and if he doesn't hit his target, he clinches. It was almost like some drunken Klitschko shit. You know, Klitschko is known for that type style, which I hated. I hated to watch that style. But James Degale was doing it, but like he had a fifth of vodka or something like that. You know, he looked drunk. He looked off balance. He didn't look at himself. So I do agree. I believe he's missed some steps. Now, I don't think that's why he lost the fight, mind you. I think what he was trying to do, he lost the fight because he underestimated Chris Eubank's punching power. Because when Chris hit him, he hurt him. And I guess James Degale looked at Chris Eubank Jr. is still a middleweight instead of a super middleweight. So he didn't respect his power for someone coming up like that. Because the word around the campfire is Chris Eubank Jr.'s punching power is overrated. Well, hell, he hurt Billy Joe. I think George Groves was too much for him, honestly. But someone like James Degale, no. You know, James Degale was supposed to outbox this guy and make him look foolish, right? But that wasn't the case. And the thing that gave him openings is because James Degale would lunge in and he would try to throw combinations every so often. And he landed some. You know, you seen Chris's face. He landed some punches. But his punches didn't affect Chris Eubank like Chris Eubank's punches affected his. You know, and it was a good fight. And you know, it was a dirty fight. You know what I mean? It was an emotional fight. These guys, you know, they fought like they were in the back of a saloon some damn where. And one thing about Chris Eubank Jr., if you trade with Chris Eubank, he's going to fight you. And that's what he did. He fought James Degale. And he kept telling James Degale, like, dude, I'm going to fucking beat the brakes off you. I'm going to come get you. And he did exactly that. He beat the shit out of James Degale. James Degale did not win that fight. I don't know why he looked upset because of the scorecards. You know, there was jacked up thing where Chris Eubank slammed him on the ground, but that's been over and over and over a repetitive thing that James Degale kept doing. He kept hanging on him. He kept clenching. And you're doing that to someone that does not like you. That could have happened in the Canelo Lara. When he picked up Lara, and Lara kind of hung on like a rag doll around his neck when, you know, Canelo stood straight up with him. Yeah, that's the same thing. But Chris Eubank just, you know, shoved him forward. It reminds me of, what's that other fight? Miguel Cotto and Zab Judah. That fight was like that. You know, I believe he did that, you know. And so, especially like a cocky ass dude like Chris Eubank Jr., you know, you're not going to keep doing that. Plus, he doesn't like you anyway. That's not the smart thing to do. But that was a little drama with that. A lot of flash knockdowns, a lot of, you know, unbalanced trips and falls. Because a lot of people, this fight was, like I said, like a drunken saloon fight. Because these guys weren't like balanced. Chris Eubank moved forward, came forward, worked him, beat his ass, beat him, traded with this guy. And then you could tell it was almost like a light heavyweight within Eubank fighting a super middleweight. It looked like a light heavyweight fighting a super middleweight. That's what that looked like. I mean, it was like, damn, Chris Eubank punches were hurting James Degale. So, and then, hey, this is a reason why he did not want to fight someone like Jose Uzcategui. Now, if James Degale continued, I would love to see Uzcategui fight one of those guys, either James Degale, just to stay relevant because he ducked him anyway. I think they do have some unfinished business. He gave the belt up basically so Uzcategui wouldn't fight, so he wouldn't fight Uzcategui, right? Or Uzcategui, or however you pronounce Jose's name. So that fight could be in the future, unless James Degale, like he said, he's a man of his word. He said, hey, if I don't beat Chris Eubank Jr., I'm going to quit. He said that about Triax too. And he said that about him. If he doesn't fight him and if he doesn't beat him, I'm going to retire. So he said that before. So let's see if he's a man about his word. Chris Eubank Jr., this was a make or break fight for him because a lot of people were talking shit about him. His dad was doubting him. You know what I mean? So he had to get in there to show, hey, I'm nobody's punk. I'm going to be compared to my father. I'm no Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Okay? You know what I mean? And he's lost a couple fights, so he didn't want to go down that road. So he did at least want to make a comeback for his namesake. And he's done that. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think about the fight. Of course, please subscribe, guys. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.